The Negroes are determined that we shall have our rights.
Ain't that right? They have schools just as good as
Let's
ours.
take the men, riders at night.
Keep them niggas on their own school. We can't. They ain't got no business in here with a white.
Every colored person.
It's time for the protest to move out of the churches and into the streets. We must be ready. And yes, willing.
They don't integrate one another. Out here in the wildwood, the beef don't integrate.
God wanted me to bear fruit God on my body for this, so it's just for any good man.
Little bitty pretty one, come and talk to me. Lovely, lovely, lovely one, I sit on my knee. Whoa, wah, wah, whoa, whoa, wah, wah, whoa, whoa, wah, wah, whoa, whoa, whoa. I can tell you a story, it happened long ago. Little bitty pretty one, I've been watching you grow.
Down the list. Husband split 15 years ago, so that rules that out. No current boyfriends. Pending inheritance, no IRS investigations. Is it possible something at work precipitated this?
Mr. Cleary, it has taken me 10 years to attain the position of loan officer at my bank. My work had to be exemplary.
No offense intended. Please call me Jack.
By the way, I found out your usual fee is $50 a day, not the $25 you've been charging me.
You don't think I'm going to charge full price to the lady who fields my bounce checks, do you?
Real sorry about this.
Are you sure you're not forgetting anything?
We've moved into a new home. We're the only colored family in an all-white neighborhood. We've been there less than 2 weeks, and already there have been threatening phone calls. Last week, while we were out, someone put a garden hose through our mail slot and flooded our living room. You don't think that has anything to do with my being followed?
When you try that type of childish intimidation, don't usually go to those lengths. You have any luck?
Yeah. Followed the green DeSoto that tailed Miss Burke over here, just like he told me. This guy took off down Olympic onto the Hill Street cutoff and then doubled back through a parking lot in Chinatown, man.
Cut to the chase, will you, Bets?
I got a glimpse of this guy disappearing into the Pacific Electric Tunnel, man, and I had my foot on the pedal like you wouldn't believe. Man, who would have thought a bet-marked dairy truck would be making a run this late at night?
So you lost him.
I'm trying to tell you, Clary, whoever it is, he's a real pro, man.
Might be a good idea if somebody stayed with you for a couple days.
I don't think that's necessary.
Just until we find out what's going on. Besides, Bets here could use a change of scenery.
My son Clayton's very protective. He's not going to stand for having a bodyguard in our home.
Yeah, I don't blame him, because that's a major invasion of his privacy.
We won't tell Clayton he's a bodyguard. We'll tell him he's a boarder.
No, maybe they don't have any spare room, Cleary.
As a matter of fact, we've been discussing renting out the back room to help make ends meet. But...
Don't worry, you may look like a fugitive from a psycho gang, but I guarantee you, he's housebroken. Get your duffel bag packed, kid.
It's late. I've got to go. We'll take it one day at a time. What do you say, Bets?
Well, hello.
You know where to reach me if you have to.
Yes, thank you.
Bye.
Bye.
Joe, you got my tab?
You touched or what, Cleary? Where I'm from, they'd burned down the place they found out I was living with a colored family. And it's not that I'm against it myself, it's just... I don't even know how to act over there.
Just like you would at anyone else's. Don't talk with your mouth full, don't break the furniture. Don't steal the silverware.
Talk like I was brought up in a building with a tobacco ad stenciled on the side of it, man.
Hey, Joe.
I can't even imagine why anybody would want to follow her anyway based on what she's been telling us.
Maybe it's because she's not telling us everything. I found this on the floor of her car.
There's a nice lady like that. She doesn't even look like one of those subversives.
You know, I always wanted to try me one of those dusky little ladies. Tell me, pal, is it true about dark meat being sweeter than white?
We are a small group here tonight. But there are hundreds of groups just like ours all over this country. And together, we can make a difference. Groups of people like you and me that want their voices to be heard. Because now is the time for all our voices to be heard. And to be heard, you're going to have to shout for decent housing.
Yes.
Shout for a decent workplace. Shout for a decent life. Through non-violent resistance, we can make
What's your
the
business
people
here,
of this
Opie?
great nation see that we will not
Says
stop
here this is an open forum.
till we have to.
You got the look of a cop to me.
Make the difference.
We don't want no lackey spies in the police department trying to intimidate us. Don't come down here again, Opie.
For what?
And not just for the Negro, but for all races.
I've had enough of listening to this. Chicken eater! This house Negroes like this one that has allowed the white man to put shackles on the black man. From the time he kidnapped us from our homeland and stripped us of our language, of our culture, of our family structure, and yes, even of our family name. Reverend Williams has called for passive resistance, more paralytic silence, more head-bobbing surrender. I say it's time for the protests to move out of the churches and into the streets. And we must be ready, and yes, willing, to be destroyed by the falling rubble of his racist empire.
Violence won't get anybody a job or decent housing. It'll only get our people hospitalized or arrested and jailed. True, things are moving more slowly than we would all like. But the sort of radical action Mr. Obey advocates will only end in tragedy. Reverend Williams' voter registration drive is a step in the right direction. Our political voice will help us to achieve the housing, the education, the jobs our people need.
What you want? The name's Johnny Betts. I'm here about the room. I saw an ad on a board at this Baptist church. Said you had a room available.
It's already been rented.
Wait, don't be so hasty, House.
What's that?
It's a receipt. The first month's rent in advance, paid to a Mrs. Helen Burke. Your mother, right? Slash late for Little League practice, ain't it?
Had a little bit of trouble around here lately. Nothing we can't handle.
There will be no working on automobile parts in the house. And don't let me catch you leaving any grease stains on linen. And I won't tolerate cigarettes, beer, or liquor in your room. And absolutely, positively, no young ladies. And if you stand there thinking that you have 16 hours out of the day with nothing to do but stare at the ceiling, then it's high time you reconsider what you're going to do with your life, boy.
Yes, ma'am. I've been thinking along those lines myself. See, I'm just looking for a quiet, clean place to sleep.
Where did you say you were from, boy?
Just outside Memphis, Tennessee, ma'am.
Oh, my Lord, I'm from Fayette County myself.
Well, I got some cousins from Fayette County, right outside Hickory Wet.
Oh, do you like white bean pie?
Well, to tell you the truth, ma'am, it's always been my favorite.
You know, it's going to be nice to have another young man around the house. And I'm sure you two will have a lot in common.
Telling you straight, Johnny Betts. I don't want you in this house. But if my mother rented you the room, I guess there's nothing I could do about it. Come on, I'll show you your room. Big Joe Turner, shake, rattle, and roll. Not bad, but I like Midnight Special a lot better.
There you go, Ace. Give her a try.
Listen.
I know I should have told you about my political involvement, but you have to understand. If it got out that I attend these meetings, I could lose my job.
Doesn't matter to me if you're a secret member of the Knights of Columbus. If I'm going to help you on this, I got to know everything. You hold out on me again for any reason, you can get yourself another investigator.
Fair enough.
I may have a lead on who's following you. I'll give you a call in the morning.
Okay.
God bless you. God bless you.
Have a seat. I was wondering who this hunk of junk belonged to.
What are you doing in my car, man?
Looked familiar. So familiar, in fact, the license plate matches a car my associate was playing bumper tag with earlier this evening. Tell me, Gilbert Maka, why are you following her?
I don't know what you're talking about.
I'm talking about a shadow in a green DeSoto that's been tailing Helen Burke for the last week. I'm talking about a guy that fits your description that's been asking about her at work. I'm talking about you, Maka. Now, unless you want this night to take a real nasty turn, you're going to tell me why you're following Helen Burke.
Okay. It's all part of our routine precautionary security we do on all CRC members to determine if they are truly committed to our cause and to assure ourselves that they are who they say they are. These are dangerous times for groups like ours.
Everything you're saying may be true. You bother my client again, I'm going to make more trouble for you and your African Congress than you can possibly imagine.
Well, there you go. Should be as good as new. Go on and try her.
You fixed it.
Yeah, well, I'm no valedictorian, but if it runs on gas, juice, or oil and has a motor, I can fix it.
I got a couple of country-sized pieces of pie warmed in the oven.
We'll be right in, Grandma.
What was that? You sit right here, Grandma.
Help me out here, Ben. Grab the plank.
Letters a foot high. It's kind of a shame. The old lady's a real kick in the pants. Did I tell you she's from Fayette County?
3 times.
Kid's got a great collection of drifter platters, man. I'll tell you. Living there beats the hell out of that trailer of mine. 3 squares a day, clean sheets. I mean, they got themselves a family. You want me to take care of their exterior decorator?
No, they have enough trouble. Just make sure it doesn't get any worse.
Okay. You know, to tell you the truth, I don't understand why they moved there in the first place. I mean, why would somebody want to live in a place where they weren't wanted?
It ain't a country club, Betts. They don't need anyone's permission.
Right.
Daddy, you ask your friend down at Records to run a make on this guy Maka and his Green DeSoto? Let's see what you can find out about Samuel Obey and his pals.
No problem. He owes me for that linoleum I laid down in his kitchen. Cleary, it's your office, okay? But when you move a chair, could you put it back where it belongs? Otherwise, it dents the rug.
The hell are you talking about? Daddy, has anyone been in this office since yesterday?
You know I don't let anyone in here.
Think.
There was a phone repair guy in the hall this morning, but why are we whispering?
Start talking. Anything.
Last night, Ralphie and I attended the premiere of Invasion of the Body Snatchers. It was so real. People were being replaced in their sleep by exact duplicates hatched from frothy pods. Kevin McCarthy warned his girlfriend, don't go to sleep. But she did. So he ran screaming out onto the highway. You're next. You're next. It was too late. Truckloads of pods were streaming past him into town.
Daddy, clear my schedule between 4 and 6. I have to meet with an informant on the Helen Burke case. So if you have to reach me, I'll be at the Safari Inn, room 108. This is confidential info, kiddo. Now, it doesn't go outside this office.
What am I supposed to do all day? And
Watch your language. And don't fall asleep.
Hey, Clayton. Clayton. Look, I ain't too big on manual labor either, but don't you think you ought to slap a little semi-gloss on this billboard here, huh?
He's right, Clayton. We have a little bit left over from that nice job you did when we moved
No!
in.
Let whoever did it take it off. Hey, Tennessee.
hard up for a cheap room, or you just homesick for some chitlins and pig's feet?
To tell you the truth, it was the neighborhood that initially attracted me.
What do you mean?
Well, you got your manicured shrubbery, colorful house paintings. And for entertainment, you got 3 dipsticks and a junker Chevy cruising by like clockwork.
You're a funny guy.
Yeah.
You know, I don't know what you're paying for that room there, Reb, but I think you're gonna find that the price is a little too high.
That was an impressive job you did in my office. Showed major talent. If my secretary wasn't a fuss budget, I wouldn't have had a clue. Is that standard issue for local civil rights groups now?
I told you the last time you pointed a gun at me, we are not docile colored folks. We handle our own security.
Nice speech. Gee, the last time I saw Stevens with an FM oscillator was Army intelligence. Either that or the Bureau of Narcotics. Not the BON, IRS. Let me know when I hit the right initials.
How about the BOLA, the Bank of Los Angeles? Floyd Purvis, internal records. You want the bad news? That client of yours, Helen Burke, she's embezzled a ton of dough, and since I was the only colored administrator around, they sent me to get the goods on her.
Try again.
Okay, guy, you got me. Fenton J. Dobbs, Allstate Insurance.
I'm gonna give you one last try. I'd make it a good one.
You don't believe African Congress, and you don't believe the BOLA, which, by the way, I think makes a hell of a lot of sense. And you don't believe Allstate Insurance. What did you believe? The FBI.
You compromised the cover of one of my best agents. A guy who spent a year of federal time and taxpayer money infiltrating these radicals.
Where do you guys get off harassing this woman? She's a bank clerk who wants to exercise a few of her constitutional rights.
You know, I checked your file. Marine, decorated cop, you should know the score, Cleary.
You have a file on me?
These colored groups are popping up all over the place, and there's been violence. And we have reason to believe that they're being infiltrated by communist provocateurs.
Ellen Burke isn't a commie or a provocateur. She's just colored. Or is that a crime to you feds?
We are not going to have the same kind of problems here that are happening in Newark and Chicago and Little Rock. Not in this town, not while I'm in charge. Do you read me? You will stop interfering with a lawful investigation and drop this case.
Or what, tough guy?
Or I'll have your PI's license pulled by the end of the day. One call from me, and there'll be no gun and no fancy office on Sunset Boulevard. There'll just be one ex-cop who got drummed out of the force. You'll be lucky if you can get a job inspecting elevators.
Pleasant fellow.
He gets the job done. The name's McFadder. Felix McFadder.
Yeah, well, looks like you're doing a real job on these people too, McFadder.
Now, what is that supposed to mean?
You sounded pretty convincing the other night for someone who's spying on his own people.
Wait a minute. Let's get something straight right now. Now, I am an FBI agent, and a good one. What color I am can't affect my job or my duty. My morals aren't compromised at all. Now, I'm respected at the agency. It's been good to me. I have paid my dues. Took 15 years, man. Hard years. When I was the only colored one around.
And you should know what Helen Burke is going through.
All we're doing is gathering information. We're not abrogating anyone's civil rights.
I'll see you around, McFadden.
Hey, Cleary. Miller's a serious guy. Get uninvolved, or there's gonna be a whole lot of law coming down on you.
Of course, it being Halloween and all, I wasn't too anxious to hang around that graveyard, but, you know, Lionel dared me. So all of a sudden, a hand comes from out of the ground, right, and grabs me by the ankle, and I'm telling you, I didn't stop running till I got out of Fayette County. Yeah, I didn't find out till years later that Lionel had his brothers all laying in these piles of leaves for his gullible white friend. Full moon at the Hickory Hills Cemetery. I'll tell you, that place was filled with spooks. Oh, no, wait a minute. I didn't mean it that way. Honest to God, I didn't.
Loosen up a little bit, Clayton. He's as rough as a corn cob around the edges, but his heart is in the right place. Filled with spooks.
I'll get it. Jack, what a nice surprise. Would you like to come in? I could tell them you're a client from the bank.
I can only stay a moment.
What is it? What's happened?
I can't represent you anymore.
I don't understand. Why not?
Conflict of interest has arisen.
Men are following me. I hired you to help me.
I know when I spoke to them, they mean you no harm.
Why are they doing this?
I can't tell you that. All I can tell you is that they will stop as soon as your involvement with this civil rights group stops.
That's the same message somebody painted on my house, isn't it?
I'm sorry.
Who was it, honey?
Just someone who had the wrong house.
I saw a house this morning for sale in our old neighborhood. We already have a house.
What street was it on?
Stop talking like that. It ain't right we should have to feel like this in our own house.
Clayton! Clayton, where are you going?
Hey, Clayton, if you're planning on looking for the guys that decorated your house, I think you're a little outnumbered. Take some advice, man. Forget about it.
All you're saying is it's not your fight.
My legs need a little stretching. I haven't sat down to a home-cooked meal like this for longer than I can remember. Excuse me. Thank you.
Mom, why don't you go on up to bed? You look tired. I'll take care of the dishes.
Clayton? Is that you?
I saw my baby in a pool of blood.
Dr. Gerald.
Why would anybody do that to my baby child? Oh.
People are not safe even in their own homes. You can be sure the white-dominated police department will do what they always do whenever peaceful black people are attacked for no reason other than the color of their skin. Absolutely nothing.
The hell happened? I don't know, man. After dinner, I followed Clayton down the street and talked him out of going after that local gang. Man, it couldn't have been more than 20 minutes, and we came back, and somebody had hurt her real bad. Real bad.
You didn't see anything?
Nothing, man. Whoever did it was long gone by the time me and Clayton got back.
Can I have a second?
Dr. Dave Peters, I Dr. Dave Peters, I
This is clearly a white man's act.
I'm gonna find the people that did this to you.
Mr. Strobe on the CRC's morale. Absolutely not. We have come to expect such and we will certainly encounter many more before my brothers and sisters have risen to the top. But as we move as
You hustle back down there. Talk to everyone between the ages of 15 and 50. Do whatever you have to do. Get me a lead.
Got it, Chief. I want this guy as badly as you do.
our scene are willing to sacrifice everything to gain their place in the world. They are prepared to go to combat against the white man in a fight for their rights. And if this means that violence must occur, so be it. Larry!
I want you to know I feel as bad about what happened to that woman as you do. I also want you to know that my investigation is in no way responsible.
Well, if that's the case, McFadder, then your conscience is pretty clear, isn't it?
Oh, you damn right it is.
And why'd you go to the trouble to follow me out here to tell me that?
Do you have any idea what I am going through here? I have been under so deep, I don't know who I'm supposed to be when I wake up in the morning. Some days, I swear, I can't tell the light from the shadows.
I know. You have a job to do. Excuse me. I've got one of my own.
My boss wasn't kidding, Cleary. You get involved in this, you're gonna fall neck deep into some very serious trouble on the federal level.
You tell your boss I don't give a damn what kind of trouble I fall into. You tell your boss I'm back on the case.
Now, you're too good an agent to stroll in here anytime you want and risk blowing your cover.
I want off this assignment.
Off this assignment? Now, you've been eating, sleeping, and breathing this assignment for the last 6 months. Now, we can't just start over.
I don't know. I don't feel what we're doing is right. I'm starting to get all turned around on this one.
That's not unusual in a deep cover case like this. All you have to remember is those are not your people out there anymore. You got 15 years with the agency. That makes you an FBI agent first and colored second. You get your head straight and go back over to that African Congress meeting.
Yes, sir.
Yeah. Bet.
Where are you?
Down in South Central LA trying to track down Clayton.
I told you to tail those gang guys.
Well, I already had a friendly little chat with a guy by the name of Eddie Hicks. His gang did the midnight artwork and some interior lawn sprinkling, but they didn't touch Helen Burke.
What are you talking about?
They were getting ready to do another one of those junior KKK numbers last night when they saw some guy running from the back of Helen's house. He hightailed it in a gray Buick Special.
Two-tone, gray on gray.
You going clairvoyant on me, Cleary, or what?
Tell you about it later. Right now, I want you to call the FBI. Tell them the African Congress is onto one of their agents. His name is Felix McFadden.
Oh, yeah.
Yes! Where's my man? Hey, her. Woo!
Clayton. It's your old neighborhood, huh? Listen, man, I just came down here to tell you how bad I feel about what happened to your mother. And to kind of clue you in that your grandmother's worried sick about you. So, what do you say we go back to the house, huh?
Say, Clayton, is this Opie a friend of yours?
I don't have no white friends.
Oh,
hey, come on, Clayton.
He's got one of those funny southern accents. Looks like you took a real wrong turn, Cracker.
Clayton, you're not just gonna walk away from this.
Look like you're sweating now. Look like you're sweating. What you doing here, buddy?
That's a whole lot of chairs, Brother Malcolm. Looks like we finally gonna run the house niggas out of CRC.
Well, every week I set out 5 or 10 more, Mr. Marker.
Obey is the most persuasive man.
Oh, but it's not just Mr. Obey. Not since you came along. People listen when you speak. They like the way you present yourself. It makes folks want to get up off on their knees and then stand up for themselves.
Malcolm's right. You should be proud of yourself, Brother Gilbert. We'll finish up here, Malcolm. Why don't you get the coffee ready in the lobby?
Okay.
You're a gifted man. You're quicker than the others. You make people see and believe. Oh, I believed in you. I admired you. But it would take a man with all of your gifts to betray us with such a convincing smile. How could I help but admire a man who could put a knife in my back with such inspiring words? Feelings. We followed you from your white masters.
My presence here was to monitor what was happening. Now, my job is to keep the laws. You still believe in the laws, don't you, Obey?
They are not our laws. They only serve the white man. Now, I was told that Helen Burke was the informant. Your betrayal turned me into a woman beater. You turned all of my ideals into dirt.
You a little bit of a surprise yourself, Brother Obey. See, I didn't think that you could actually beat and murder people who got in your way.
I don't think on those small, petty levels. This is war. And in war, traitors are executed.
I was sent to keep this movement free of guys with guns. Now, it looks like we were more right than we knew.
History will prove me right. 100 years from now, people will see that we freed ourselves, and no one will care how we did it.
I'm not too late. Sign out front says something about civil rights.
You were right on time, man.
I'm not afraid to die, Whitey.
Well, that's good to hear. Because if we don't work out a peaceful solution to this, you are going to be the first one to go.
Look, let's end this now. Now, no one has to die.
I made you my right arm. You were like a brother to me.
We are brothers. I want change for our people just like you do, please. If you allow this to happen, you will destroy everything that you worked for.
Helen Burke is one of our followers. When I hit her, I became nothing. If you and I can betray what we believe in so easily, what chance is there for those who look to us for leadership?
Where are you going with that bag, mister?
It's time I should leave.
Well, I wish you wouldn't. because I haven't begun to reform you.
You take care of yourself, you hear? And you give my best to Miss Burke.
Oh, Lord. What happened to your face?
Oh, it's no big thing, ma'am. There's punks in every neighborhood. Hey, man. About what happened? Sorry. If you want, you can stick around. Ain't no reason for me to stick around here. My mother was only paying me to the end of the week anyway.
What you talking about? My mother paid you to stay here?
You know any other reason I'd stay under the same roof as colored trash like you, man?
Way to go, Edward. Thank you, sir. Jonathan, thank you. Congratulations, fellas. You can all pat yourselves on the back for a job well done. Thank you. You did the business good, sir.
Heard about the shootout on the radio coming over here.
We accomplished our goal.
Well, let's get this stuff out of here and go home. Why'd you come back here?
It's quieter in my trailer. It's dark, and there's not a lot of people around bugging me.
You have a rough night last night, Betts? You want to talk about it?
I want to talk about it.
Hey, what's the matter? He should be in on this back slap. Hey, speak of the devil.
Looks like they're working overtime across the street, huh?
I've taken just about enough from you, McFadder. I went in with force. It was a hostage situation. As far as I'm concerned, things couldn't have worked out better. Obie is neutralized, the group is discredited, and you're still in one piece.
The situation was under control. I had Obey talked down. He didn't have to die. You went in there to kill him.
If you want to stay in this organization, you're going to have to decide what side you're on. If I hadn't made that anonymous tip and thrown them off the track, Obey would have been on to you days before.
You told Obey Helen Burke was the informer.
You don't get it. He knew someone had infiltrated. Now, that call was an operational necessity.
You set up an innocent woman to be nearly beaten to death for an operational necessity? Did you look at what they did to her?
We all have our roles to play. You played yours. I played mine.
My role in this operation was never intended to let this happen.
Whether you like it or not, you are as responsible as anyone for what happened to Helen Burke and Samuel Obey.
That is not why I started this. That is not what we're all about. We are supposed to stop the violence.
I think you better take a week or two off, McFadder. Think about things, like your career, and then, when you've got your head screwed on straight, we've got another assignment for you. With a group of colored preachers in Atlanta. McFadder, do you hear me? Turn off the lights when you leave, will you?
Come on, let's get out of here. What's that noise? Sounds like he's moving furniture.
Looks like he's standing on a chair.
Oh, my God.
call an ambulance.
Breathe. Come on. Breathe.
Dr. Kravchuk, gynecology, please.
Working in the section. I think I'll crop it up here. Mr. Cleary, he's gonna be fine, but another 10, 15 seconds, he would have been a goner.
Thanks, Doc.
Okay, I gotta go down to the pharmacy. All right, no problem. Sure. Dr. Davis, they want you at ER.
I guess I owe you some thanks.
You don't owe me anything. This is your way of quitting the Bureau, McFadder. A simple letter of resignation would have been sufficient. I want you to know I can always use a good surveillance man.
I don't need any charity.
I was talking about charity. It only pays $22 a day.
I'm not too partial to volunteer work either.
Dr. Peters, I need Dr. Peters, I need that.
Boy! Don't that long. Why don't you come over here and wash off my wheel? That'd be a good worker, boy. Hey, Rip. What do you think you're doing? What are you doing, Mr. Tennessee? What you got there, Rip? Mammy, boy, what you doing? I think he's moving back home. Don't you be doing any house painting now. That's their work. Come on, guys. Back home. Hey, Tennessee, don't you think you got things all mixed up in that bone-thick head of yours?
Thomas finds himself trapped in a time warp when he wakes up in the 1930s on Magnum PI Monday afternoon at 4. Now stay tuned as Mort Krim and Carmen Harlan bring you the latest news for the metro area on the News 4 Night Beat. Followed by The Tonight Show, and guest host Jay Leno welcomes Billy Crystal and St. Elsewhere's Christina Pickles. Coming up on Channel 4.